who's definitely not ready for the NBA to play and on an NBA team, taking the easy route again. LeBron James changing teams to win championships, taking the easy route again. There's so many things about him that rub me the wrong way. I don't want to see this guy anymore.
All right, welcome back to the show, everyone, and good morning to you. Hope you guys are having a good day so far. This request comes out of the members section, and I'm totally stoked to do it. If you see Chae Park in the comments, she's been throwing a bunch of great ideas my way lately, so thank you very much. This one's gonna be interesting. It's been a while, but we're gonna watch BTM Basketball Time Machine here. He just dropped a new video a couple of days ago, and this one is titled, "Could LeBron James's retirement make the NBA fun again?" Now this is an interesting premise, because I can't count the amount of people who have commented throughout the vast amount of videos I've done on LeBron James, where everyone is just saying, I can't wait till he retires so I can watch again. Like, for some of you, it might sound like a wild statement, but it's not just the fact that LeBron is in there, it's the effect that it has on everybody else and the rest of the league that I believe everybody is talking about when they're saying, I don't want to watch anymore, while he's the face of the league and it's influencing everything else about the game. And I kind of get it, if I'm going to be perfectly honest, if it wasn't for doing a basketball YouTube channel, I probably just would have watched some San Antonio games last year and left it at that, just because I wanted to keep an eye on Wemby. But the rest of the NBA was not interesting me. Playoffs got a little bit better, but anyways, that's a story for another time. You guys, I'm going to link the original video from BTM down below, like I always do. That's going to be in the description. Speaking of Chae Park, that's where you'll see a list of channel members. Shout out, you guys. You guys are great. You guys thrown me great ideas lately, and it's great talking to you in the member section. Is there anything else to say? No, except for BTM. He's got my respect, man. He's the godfather of this YouTube basketball game. Guys, like the video, I'd appreciate it. Let's get to this. And real quick, the reason why it's so cool that BTM is doing this is that I'll point this out like I usually do with his LeBron videos. This is the most positive basketball channel I've ever seen, and I love BTM for it. All he does is just appreciate great players, and he talks about a lot of forgotten players, etc. And very rarely does he talk negative about the game, and it seems like pretty much every time he does, it's because of LeBron James, like ruining the game he loves.
Hey guys, this is Dominique Wilkins.
Hey, this is Sean Kemp.
This is Gary Payton.
Hey, this is Pau Gasol.
NBA fans, what's up? This is Vince Carter here.
Hey, what's up? This is Matt Barnes. If you're an old school NBA fan like I am, make sure you check out the Basketball Time Machine with my man Sean David.
Love Penny, man. Let's do it, Sean.
Hey guys, what's good? Welcome back to the Basketball Time Machine. My name is Sean David. Thanks for tuning in. Let's talk some old school NBA.
Ooh, I like the new background. The last one was leaving me a little bit dizzy.
Basketball. Now, for the past couple of years, and I know for those of you who follow the show on a regular basis, you know the frustration has grown bigger and bigger with the current NBA. And even though I always try to be a positive person, sometimes, like today, it is hard to be that kind of a positive person. Anyway, in today's episode, I will discuss if the hopefully soon coming retirement of LeBron James will have a positive effect on the NBA and hopefully make the NBA interesting again for us old school fans. This is what I'm going to discuss. But before we start, if you like the content, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I would say, come on, man, let's get down to it.
Done. Sonic Boom, or more like Yoga Fire. And you know, Sean, I don't know if you ever watched this, but if you do watch it, for me, the sooner the better. If he's out of here, the sooner the better. The reason is the longer he's around, the more his influence is going to take hold of the next generation and the next generation. And we have a nice group of very young stars right now. And LeBron's already like kind of ruining these guys. So like the sooner he gets out, the better in my mind. I'm just worried he might have infected another generation of basketball stars.
Now, how do I want to start? Now, let's go back and see when was the NBA, at least in my opinion, still watchable. I think
2010 for me.
I have to go back to the early 2000s.
Actually, I'm sorry, 2009. I'll cap it there.
Where were we? Now, the dominance of the Chicago Bulls was over. Michael Jordan came back, played for the Washington Wizards, and there was a transition going on. The big superstars of our 80s, 90s generation, like Charles Barkley, Hakeem Olajuwon, Patrick Ewing, David Robinson, John Stockton, Karl Malone, those guys were slowly fading out. And even though you still had guys hanging around like a Gary Payton, like a Karl Malone, and they were still doing their thing, but obviously they were not as big anymore as they used to be.
Agreed.
And there was a generation change starting. You had the young guns of the late 90s becoming the faces of the NBA. We were talking about.
Yeah, I kind of liked it though. Like, we had good big men, obviously, with like, you know, KG, and he's going to talk about like Duncan and Dirk, etc. Yao, Shaq entering his prime, but also we had all the young guards that Jordan influenced. You know what I mean? So we had this crazy caliber of player coming in with like, well, not Penny was old by this point, but like Tracy McGrady, Kobe Bryant, Vince Carter, Allen Iverson, Stephon Marbury, like all these dudes coming in. I think it was a cool generation, you know, at least for like 9 years, and until about 2009, where it all just fell off the wayside. But man, it was, for a guy who's such a Jordan fan like myself, I was okay. You know, I was okay with this new generation of players, and I was really enjoying basketball a lot.
Dirk Nowitzki, Allen Iverson, you had Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, and those guys. And of course, like in any generation when there is a change, it is a bit different, but those guys were, I think, at least a solid, I don't want to say replacement, but it was all right. It was all right. And Shaq was still doing well, even though he was not in his prime anymore. He was still one of the most dominant players in the NBA.
Speaking of Shaq, I forgot to mention D-Wade. D-Wade, man.
And it was okay for me as an NBA fan. I could still watch it. I was still enjoying even the super team of the Los Angeles Lakers that failed with Gary Payton, Kobe Bryant, Shaq, and Karl Malone. I was still enjoying that. Why? Because the opposing team was the Detroit Pistons, who really defended. They were a team. Not sensational as individual players, but a great team. And hard.
Let's be real, Sean. We like those Pistons because they reminded us of like an 80s or 90s team. There's just a solid unit of dudes all doing their role, all doing their job, 10 out of 10, and winning it with just hard work and great teamwork. Like, that was beautiful.
Defense, fundamentally sound basketball. I could still enjoy that even though my hero Michael Jordan had retired. I was cool with that. So then, in I think it was 2003, you have the next generation coming in. You have LeBron James, you have Carmelo Anthony, Darko Milicic, yes, that was also happening, and Dwayne Wade and those guys. And at first, while I was still watching it, I had no bad feelings towards them. I mean, I knew of the hype that LeBron James was creating when he was coming into the NBA. He was considered to be the sensational high school phenomenon. I was cool with that because the same, to me, not the same, it was less. But when Kobe came into the NBA, there was also a big hype, this high school play and everything, and I was cool with that.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. When Kobe came out of the league, it was instant comparisons to Michael Jordan. And then, like, especially, God, if you guys watched the first time that the Lakers played the Bulls, you know, when Kobe was on the roster, Kobe's just chilling on the bench for the majority, right? He's not playing much in this first season. All the commentators, it's like master and student. You know, everyone was comparing him to MJ. So for the LeBron thing, that was nothing new. And also for Kobe, it was nothing new. We've been comparing people to Jordan since, well, Jordan came around. We still are to this day. Ant-Man, you know, we're still looking for that next Jordan.
So, what happened then? In 2004, 2005, the handshaking rule. Yeah. It's what can I say? It's a big change. It is a big change. No matter how you want to see it, it does something to the NBA. Now the idea was, okay, let's make the game more interesting for the fans. Let's have it more open. Let's have more scoring and everything. And I can't blame David Stern to think that way, because how would you know if you don't give it a try? So I can understand.
Yeah.
Even though I also feel that at a certain point, if you see that it has negative effects, you should go back. But it's a different story.
Okay, there you go. I agree 100%, Sean. They tried that whole thing. What was it? 95, I think it was 1995, 96, something like that, where they brought the 3-point line in closer. Yeah, bad idea. Obviously, it was a bad idea. They learned their lesson and they got rid of it as soon as they could. Like with the hand checking thing, I wish they would have done the same thing. Tried it out and then realized, oh crap, this is getting out of control. Then find some middle ground. Maybe the old ways in the 80s and 90s where you could, do a complete hand check and literally control the direction that the player can go. They can't go the other way because you're pushing them in the direction you want them to go. Maybe there's some middle ground we could have found here to where the offensive player has a little bit more control over the direction they're going to go, yet the defender can still put a hand on them, put an arm on them, a forearm on them, something in order to keep that contact going so he's not just free-flowing on the offensive end. Considering what they did, they literally just removed all of the defensive capabilities of a player, and they basically just have to sit there and watch the offensive player just dance around until they get a clear shot. This is not good. That was not good for basketball, and that's what we're seeing right now. I don't know what that middle ground would have been, but literally I'm only thinking about it right now as I talk. So give me a couple hours, I'm sure I'd be able to figure out an idea. We're talking about all the leaders of this sport. They can't think of a solid idea. I find that hard to believe.
So the game becomes more family friendly. The players, the older generation of people who were still playing in the 80s and 90s when the game was really physical, those guys are fading out and the game is changing in a big way. Then what happens? LeBron James becomes the face of the NBA.
That's where it goes bad. Because I'm telling you, those first couple of years of no hand checking, the refs weren't adjusted yet. So the physicality was still there, man.
And all the negative things, the big negative things, they are not visible in the early stages of his career.
Yeah.
They're happening the older he gets, which is kind of fascinating to me. I think because in 2003 and 2004 and 2005, because you still had those older folks there and the NBA was still physical, that LeBron had adapted and he was thinking, okay, the game's like that, he had to play like that. But once he became the face of the NBA and those guys were moving out, suddenly you have the flopping, suddenly you have the traveling fundamental, the respect to the game in playing fundamentally sound. LeBron James was capable of doing that in his early stages. He still used to travel every once in a while.
Oh my God, don't show these videos. I can't focus. I just see where's the pivot foot.
Sound. LeBron James was capable of doing that in his early stages.
Okay, wait, got the ball. All right. 2 feet planted. Where's the pivot foot?
Used to travel.
Oh, it's not the left, so it's the right foot. It's the pivot foot. It's not the right foot. It must be the left foot.
Wow, but not as often as now. The whining did not happen back then when he was younger.
No.
And then you have the changing teams and everything. And the problem is, because the face of the NBA is giving those bad examples, what happens? The younger generation who is idolizing those players and LeBron James, they think that it's all right and they think that that's normal. Why? Because if the greatest player does it, it's normal. It's okay. So,
okay. To be fair, this is why you can't judge the younger generation for doing this stuff. One, like you said, they learned it from LeBron. Not only that, LeBron is still here doing it. So from about I'm going to do it again. From 2010, what LeBron taught the league is, hey, I'm going to win by cheating. The only way you're going to beat me is if you cheat even harder than I do. enter Kevin Durant to the Golden State Warriors. Okay? So I don't... The effect that this is the ripple effect that I think we're talking about. It's not just what he did. It's what he forced everybody else who wanted to win to also do. So it normalized this type of behavior, which is basically, hey, let's stack the deck and cheat to win, and then let's also flop around and do all this stuff, which is cheating because you're baiting fake calls, you're acting, you're pretending. You know what I mean? You're not actually playing the sport anymore. You're cheating it. So everybody else learned to cheat the game, and it's still going on, and LeBron is still cheating the game, and we don't know where he's going to cheat the game next year, if it's LA or somewhere else. But the point is, people have to keep stacking their deck in order to have a chance to compete against this cheater that the NBA is allowing to win.
He influences in a very bad way the entire next generation that steps in. Now, is he the only one to blame? No. Guys like Steph Curry, and believe me, no disrespect to this guy. I think he's a phenomenal basketball player, the greatest shooter of all time. And it's not his fault that because of the way he approaches the game, that it had a bad influence on the NBA. I think it's more the fault of the coaches who let their players try to play the same way as a Steph Curry, not realizing that this is something special and not everybody should try to do that.
Agreed.
So,
I'm glad you said it that way. It's not Steph's fault. Steph showed us a new way to win. But then the problem is everyone, all the coaching staffs and organizations tried to basically take out what was special about him and think anybody can do this, so we're going to do this too, even though we don't have Steph Curry. Blows my mind, but that's really what happened. But that's not Steph's fault. He didn't do it. He didn't cause this. You know what I mean? He just showed us a new way to win.
You have guys like LeBron, Steph Curry, and other players who give bad examples, bad coaching in the youth department, bad coaching in the NBA, bad refereeing, etc. It destroys the entire product. Yep. And to me personally, I think in 2005, 2006, it started. Then it got worse when in 2014 Adam Silver took over. And the guy...
Yeah, this is when it was done. Like, if there was any hope of, like, going, okay, everything that's happened since the hand-checking thing has gotten out of control, maybe we should find some middle ground. Once Adam Silver took over, it completely he just doubled down on everything. And it's gotten so much worse since 2014 because, you know, I say the golden era ended in 2010. But, you know, for the next couple of years, there was still some decent basketball to be watched because everything was, you know, it's the crash. Think of like a stock chart. You know, the price is still good after the blow off top for a little while. But if you hold that bag until you hit the bottom, that's where we are now. We're at the freaking bottom, you know, the crash has happened.
As nice of a person I first believed that this guy was or is, and he still might be. I don't know this guy, so I don't want to judge him as a private person. But as a commissioner, I think the guy is terrible.
I'll say it for you. David Stern was stern. He was tough. He knew what he was in charge of, and he knew what his responsibility is. Some people had a problem with it, but it's usually because he was stern. You know, he was all business. I'll say it, dude. I know it's 2025. Whatever, dude. Our new commissioner, Mr. Silver, he's soft as fuck.
And my explanation is pretty simple. If you have a great fan base for your products, which evidently our generation has been. I mean, we were the ones who also helped to make the game become global and this huge brand in the 90s. How can your aim as a commissioner not be to still keep those fans happy too? Why do you only focus on the younger folks, neglecting the guys who helped to make the product big?
Yeah.
To me, that is stupid. If you see that the product is not doing well right now, obviously you have made mistakes, but is it that hard to come to a conclusion that if you are losing the fundamentals, the base of hardcore fans from back in the days, that your product is not doing as well as it could? I mean, you don't have to be a magician to understand that. So anyway, let me get back to the LeBron James point. Now, he's close to retiring.
Yeah, I had no comment because I literally agree with everything he's saying there. I see this across different media platforms too. TV shows, movies, where it's just like, you're literally basically asking us not to watch. You're saying, like, I hear the messages all the time where it's just like, yeah, this movie's not for you, or you don't want to, we don't want your ticket sales, or we don't want you to play our game, and it's like, okay, then I won't. But then you go bankrupt, and the game, the game doesn't make any money, or the movie doesn't make any money, and then now you're mad at us for not watching. And I'm like, didn't you just tell us not to watch? Like, you hate us? Like, you hate all of us humans? Like, I don't understand what the hell's going on. And I get that same feeling in basketball too. All these stars are just talking shit about the fans constantly. Like, you don't understand. If we stop watching, you're the WNBA, man. You don't make any money anymore. You'll be wearing those shirts next saying, pay us what you owe us. But guess what? They won't owe you jack shit because you're not making any money. We're the ones who are doing that. So to curse us and to throw crap at us, it is disgusting to me, It's basically the same idea if right now I just start cursing all of you guys, screw you. I wish you didn't watch my channel. I wish you didn't watch my videos. These videos are not for you, blah, blah, blah. Like, give me a break, dude. You don't just abandon my channel. And then what? I'm going to blame you? Why aren't you watching my videos? Like, come on. What kind of nonsense, childlike behavior is this?
And look, I don't want to be a hater. And
you're not.
I still don't consider myself a hater. Why? Because I kept my mouth shut for like 15 years.
Let it out.
10 of them being super pissed, still keeping my mouth shut. And I had the platforms. So why do I think that LeBron James
I'm going to be totally real, because I've seen his first couple of videos where he's talking about LeBron and finally letting it go. Angry old hoops. Sean started watching Angry Old Hoops, and then he started going, I can't hold it anymore. I have to talk about this. And then he started doing it. But it was Angry Old Hoops who put him over the edge. Yeah, because those first couple of vids, it was packed with clips from those AOH videos, man. Shout out to AOH, man.
Retirement will not do any good for the NBA, because the NBA, the product is messed up already, and I don't see any changes in the near future. You have an entire generation of young kids coming in, and it's not even their fault, receiving bad examples of what the NBA is looking like.
Yes, sir.
And obviously, you can only perform what you've learned. So this is the result of, bad leadership for being the face of the NBA. And yes, LeBron James helped the NBA to grow. And yes, as a young player, I also thought he was a great player. I honestly thought so. Even though,
me too.
Even though I always was a Jordan fan, I respected LeBron James when he was a young kid, because hey, if you are that good, you have worked here behind off to become that of a great player. So respect where respect is due.
Yeah, unfortunately, that was the best we were ever going to see of LeBron. That's the thing I didn't expect. I thought it was going to keep getting better.
But since then, not so much. You know what's really frustrating? I don't know who of you guys can actually relate to that. When I go out to play basketball now in a gym, and I play with guys who are like 15 years younger than I am, so in their early 20s, and they're like super tall, it's so hard to play with those guys. I have this all the time. They don't want to go underneath the basket. It's like, we're always playing 5 out because the tall dudes, they want to shoot threes. How can it be that I, as a point guard, get more rebounds as big guys? And I can't jump. I can't jump high. I'm not the most athletic guy anymore. But I understand, like, okay, you got to go to the boards and actually grab a rebound. Those tall guys only want, and I'm not saying all of them, but a lot of the young kids, they only want to stay outside the lane and shoot threes.
Dude, and that drives me nuts. Okay, thankfully, I'm usually the tall guy now. And I haven't played in a while after my leg injuries. But the last many times I played, in that kind of a situation, I was the tallest guy on our team, So I did the obvious thing, the thing you're supposed to do. I got my ass on a block, you know? So I was guarding the tallest dude, trying to shut him down on defense, which I was still able to do. And then all I did was plant myself on the block. So we're playing threes. 2 perimeter players, you do what you got to do. If it's not working, put it right inside to the block. I'll take care of it. If I get a double, I'm dishing it out. If I don't get a double, I'm taking it to the rack. Like, it's so simple, dude. It's what's the big guy supposed to be doing on the perimeter? The only way you'll see me out there is if I'm defending out there, or if, like, I don't know, which shouldn't happen, but if I'm exhausted and I'm like, I can't get into post this possession, give me a 3-ball, like, which is not likely to happen, tell you the truth.
No fun to play that way. It always frustrates me like crazy. Anyway, do I hope LeBron James will retire soon? Yes, I do. Why? Because I don't want to see him play anymore. Just as a fan, to me, he has disrespected the game too much in so many years. The whole situation with, taking his son, who's definitely not ready for the NBA, to play on an NBA team, taking the easy route again. LeBron James changing teams to win championships, taking the easy route again. There's so many things about him that rub me the wrong way. I don't want to see this guy anymore. Yeah. And yes, I watch the NBA every once in a while. I don't watch it much anymore because I can't. I don't want to.
Yeah.
But I just don't want to see this guy anymore. And there are some guys that I still respect in the NBA, but they're just not that many. And I give respect to those guys. I give respect to guys like Jimmy Butler, who at least try to play hard for a long time. Giannis, give a lot of respect to you for trying to approach the game the right way. And there are some guys, just not as many. Anyway, you guys. Sometimes I need this because I also am frustrated. And I know a lot of you guys feel the same way too. So anyway, you guys, have a great day. Talk to you soon. See you next time on the Basketball Time Machine.
Man, I'll just say, Shaun, BTM, anytime you need to vent, dude, these straight up vent videos are fantastic from you. It's a whole different side of you that we haven't seen much of, except for lately. And I absolutely love it, dude. Just be unhinged, say what you feel, because a lot of us feel the exact same way. And you put it in such a clear way that I can appreciate. I just don't want to see him play anymore. I agree. I don't want to see him play anymore either. I am over it. I've never felt this way when it comes to a star like this, where I'm just like, I don't want to see you play anymore. Like, unless it's something crazy like a Latrell Sprewell back in the day, where he was like, he was signing instead of signing a gigantic deal, he was like, man, I got a family to feed or whatever. And I was like, I don't care about this dude no more. We're talking about like a multitude of millions and millions of dollars for playing basketball. He's like, nah, man, I got family to feed. It's like, okay. But a guy like LeBron James is just like a pure star. Face of the league. I've never experienced this where, like, I can't wait for him to go. I was sad when Kobe went. I was sad when MJ went. I was sad. Hell, man, I was sad when Reggie left, when Bird left, when Magic did. I remember Kareem retiring and being sad because I understood how great he was. All these players, it was like a grieving thing that the game lost such a great legend. And with LeBron, it's just like, I need you to leave so the NBA has a shot at healing, at improving itself, because of the terrible state you've brought it to. And it's wild. I can't think of another example like this in any other professional sport off the top of my head, that one guy literally infiltrated and ruined the game right in the middle of its golden era. Like, he came in right in the middle of its golden era. And now it's crap, 20 some odd years later. Anyways, you guys, let me know what you thought about the video. Shaun, great job as usual. Nothing but respect for you, man. I love your regular videos, always will. I'll always watch them. And once in a while, do a video like this about how you feel about the current league. Even after LeBron retires, you should do it, because you do represent a lot of us as far as just like appreciation and love for good basketball. And if you're not talking about current players because you don't like it, talk about it once in a while. You know, I usually talk about the old players and the old game too, but once in a while we got to talk about this new stuff. You know, and even if it's a little bit negative, we have to be honest. But anyways, you guys, I am heading out. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you want more content like this, and most importantly, it's the be water, my friends.